Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to our channel once again. Today is Christmas Day, and allow me to take this opportunity to wish all of you guys a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Ndindi Nyoro has finally become very clever.
How can you suddenly become very clever? Sudden, umekuwa very clever. Wewe ndio unaweza kila kitu. Wow.
Ndindi Nyoro was interviewed on Inoro TV, and for the first time, Ndindi Nyoro revealed why he fell out with William Samoei Arap Ruto. According to Ndindi Nyoro, he fell out with the president because he refused to participate in the impeachment of the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. But I don't want to talk about that. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about something which Ndindi Nyoro also said during that interview. That impeachment was a costly mistake. Let me ask you this question. Was the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua a mistake, or was it a blessing for the president? Because William Ruto impeached Rigathi Gachagua because he wanted to achieve certain political objectives. For me, the reason why I want to talk about this is because of two reasons. Number one, Rigathi Gachagua himself has referred to Ndindi Nyoro as one of the wheelbarrows by President William Ruto.
Hata hapa Murang'a amemwambia vijana wengine hapa watengeneza kahwilbaro, watu wajifiche hapo, wanajifanya hawataki Kasongo, lakini ni watu ya Kasongo na ni wheelbarrow.
And the second reason why I found that to be very interesting is because when President Ruto was choosing a running mate in 2022, he had two choices, Professor Kindiki, and of course, he also had Rigathi Gachagua. But most members of parliament from the mountain at that time insisted on Professor Abraham Kindiki. But one man, the former party member of parliament, Kimani Ngunjiri, once revealed to us that it took his intervention and that of Ndindi Nyoro for the president to actually nominate Rigathi Gachagua as his deputy.
Ndindi Nyoro is my very great friend and is one of our young leaders ambaye nimementa and I continue to mentor. He's a very bright young man. Na ndio hujaona yeye akiongea hii maneno ya kutukanana. Umesikia Ndindi Nyoro akitukana mtu? He's been very respectful na amejibeba kama kiongozi and he has a future because yeye ni kijana ambaye anajua nini anafanya na ni rafiki yangu sana. Hata siku tulikuwa na shida katika serikali iliyopita, siku nilikuwa nashikwa kila Friday, nilikuwa naenda kujificha kwake na kaa weekend na bibi yake Sofia ananipigia chakula.
Was the choice of Rigathi Gachagua a mistake from the onset? And is it possible that it's Ndindi Nyoro who actually misled the president into picking Rigathi Gachagua? In this video, I want us to figure out why Ndindi Nyoro is now raising those issues. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I've always opined on this platform on many occasions that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. And that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve specific political objective. Nothing just happened. There is no way Ndindi Nyoro can just wake up one day and start suggesting that the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua was a costly mistake. For me, I view it in different perspective. It was a costly mistake for the president as far as Mount Kenya politics is concerned. But you could also say that it was actually a blessing in this case for the president. For example, if the president had not impeached Rigathi Gachagua, and Rigathi Gachagua rebelled, and ODM rebelled the way they were at that time, and of course the Gen Z protest also was there, do you think William Ruto would have survived? William Ruto would have gone home. So politically for the president, it was the best move. But I'm not so sure whether it was the best move for Mount Kenya. I don't know. But for me, the reason why Ndindi Nyoro is raising these issues now are, number one, Ndindi Nyoro wants to portray William Ruto as a betrayer. Remember, when we were going to the polls, William Ruto spent most of his time in the mountain. William Ruto described Rigathi Gachagua as the best when he picked him.
That good Kenyan, my friend, whom I have worked with, especially on the economic model that now has famously been referred to the bottom-up economic model. And we started that journey together. He understands people issues. He is passionate about ordinary people. My friend, I present to you the Kenya Kwanza running mate candidate, my brother and friend, Rigathi Gachagua. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And because it was an agreement, the fact that he removed him, whether he replaced him with someone else, is something which, for me, I also consider it partly as an act of betrayal. But in politics, there are only two things, two constants in politics. That is the betrayal and the interest. I believe that by the time the president was impeaching Rigathi, their interests were no longer converging, which means one had to give way. Number two, Ndindi Nyoro is now using this as an excuse of dumping William Ruto. You know, Ndindi Nyoro was very close to the president. And if you're to ask me, I still can't explain what caused that fallout. Because I remember at some point, the president was supposed to go, was it to Uganda or was it to Tanzania? And they were stopped, the president was stopped from leaving the country. Ndindi Nyoro and Oscar Sudi were already waiting for the president at that time. So that's how close Ndindi Nyoro was with the president. In fact, in the same interview, Ndindi Nyoro is suggesting that William Ruto told him that, you know, we want to impeach the president, just convince MPs from Muranga to support that impeachment, then I'll make you the deputy president. So for me, it could be an excuse because I don't understand how Ndindi Nyoro, a man who is ambitious, would have refused the idea of becoming the deputy president. I'm not so sure. Maybe there's something he knows about Ruto and betrayal. But for me, it's an excuse which he's trying to use to dump the president officially. Number three, Ndindi Nyoro is simply inciting the mountain against the president. Because let us face it, Rigathi was impeached. Who took over? Who? Kindiki. Which group of people participated in the impeachment of Rigathi? If you are honest and you are to take a list of those who voted for the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, you'll be shocked that at the Senate, the Senator for Nyeri himself voted for the impeachment.
His allegation, him having been the first accused and me the second accused, he ought to have known that I can stand with my principles and that I voted not based on the influence from outside, but based on the evidence that was put before the House, and specifically so based on matters that were raised that were of national interest, and therefore thought that I voted the way I did because my conscience told me that is the right way to vote.
Several MPs from Nyeri voted for that impeachment. As a matter of fact, that impeachment was engineered by members of parliament from the mountain. If the members of parliament from the mountain had said no to that impeachment, William Ruto would not have raised numbers. I've seen most people have been trying to blame ODM MPs. For ODM MPs, they were right to participate in the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua because Rigathi Gachagua was their enemy. So if an enemy is being impeached, what do? You participate. But the only people who would have saved Rigathi Gachagua, in my view, remains and will always be Mount Kenya MPs. The other day, I saw over 50 MPs from the mountain converging somewhere with Kindiki for a meeting, which means they are there, but Ndindi Nyoro is inciting the mountain. Number three, it could also be about the 2027 politics. Ndindi Nyoro is going to take a different path from the one taken by William Samoei Arap Ruto. And because of that, he must paint this as one of the worst political mistakes. And lastly, Based on what Ndindi Nyoro is saying, I think he's not approved the appointment of Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.